Is it time to panic about the Arizona State Sun Devils? Eric Ruby here for PHNX Sun Devils, coming to you for a nice little trending mini pod. And maybe nice is not the word to put it, because the Arizona State Sun Devils have dropped out of the top 25, and they are 1-1 on the season after a Blake Shapen touchdown put them away on the road in Starkville, dropping to 1-1 on the season after starting as the number 11 ranked team in the country. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. 5-star reviews go a long way on audio, especially as we make it through this Sun Devil football season. And look, things aren't great right now. I don't think there's really any way around it. If you listen to our post-game show after the Starkville loss, you know that Totri and I were kind of going back and forth about it, to where I'm not panicking per se, but what I am feeling is a little bit of dread and disappointment, and I can't blame any fan who feels the same way. Look, is there this possibility that Arizona State is starting out slow? Sure. Is it a possibility that they could still go on to win 10 or 11 games this season? Sure. All of that is still on the table because of all the things that we mentioned in this offseason, how talented this roster is, the fact that they're returning all but one starter on defense, and I believe returning the most players in college football, if not tied for it as far as starters go. Returning Sam Leavitt, who was poised until now week 2, which again, week 2, but was poised to be in the Heisman conversation. Jordan Tyson, poised to be in the Blitnikoff conversation as well. Xavier Alford wants to be an All-American safety. CJ Fight wants to jump up draft boards, right? Kenny Dillingham in another year of coaching under his belt, getting ready to go. Like, this was a team that was not supposed to start off slow. And there are some people who I feel like have now shifted the goalposts and the expectations for this team. And it's hard because they're the ones who are like, oh, it's fine. Everything is fine. Everything could end up being fine. Everything could be okay. Plenty of teams face adversity early in the season. I mean, look at Notre Dame losing to Northern Illinois University, right? Before going on to have quite a successful season after that. Now, is Arizona State Notre Dame? No, but we are talking about a highly ranked team dropping an early game in non-con and then going on to having a successful season. Is the rest of the story still yet to be written for Arizona State for the rest of their 2025 season? Absolutely. But to say things are fine, I think would be dismissive about what's going on right now. It'd be dismissive of not acknowledging that there are serious and legitimate problems that need to be fixed and serious and legitimate concerns. Now, if you want to judge Arizona State based off of if they're a good team, that's a completely different set of circumstances versus what I'm going to judge them on, which is, are they a great team? Which is the set of circumstances, the goalposts that we chose to have going into this season. Not can this team be just the best team in the Big 12, not can this team be one of the best teams in the Big 12, but can this be a top 10 team in the country? Can this be the most dominant, downright, week in, week out team in the Big 12 and run away with a back-to-back Big 12 championship? Can this be a team that cements themselves in the college football playoffs for 2 seasons in a row, post Cam Scattaboo this year? Those are the goalposts that I'm choosing to judge this team off of right now, because that is what I believe the standards they have earned to be judged on are. And based off of those standards, these have been a wildly disappointing 2 weeks. Week 1 becomes more disappointing because of week 2. Does that mean that there were no positives? No, of course there were positives from week 2. You were able to run the ball like crazy in the second half. Now, was Mississippi State down their best defensive lineman in the second half? Sure. Were you down Kyson Brown? Also, yes, you were still able to run and run effectively. Your defense was still able to hold and shut them out until the end of that second half. Of course, the one play where it matters, where Xavier Alford trips, Blake Shapen is able to deliver it downfield for a game-winning touchdown. Are there positives from week 2? Sure. Are there a lot more negatives? Absolutely. And do the negatives from week 1 ring louder after week 2? Without a doubt. When you look at this passing game and you look at Sam Leavitt, who in week 2 had a downright awful game. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It's not just the fact that Mississippi State was doing really great and finding a way to shut him down. It was also that he was playing poorly. He was making poor reads, poor decisions, right? Having 2 interceptions to 1 touchdown is never acceptable, but especially when you are only throwing the ball 22 times and completing 10 of those for 82 yards. Again, are you in a hostile environment against Mississippi State, who might be a better team than people expect? Sure. Is Mississippi State going to be one of the best teams in the SEC? Absolutely not. And if they are, More power to them. This loss looks much better for Arizona State. But Sam Leavitt needs to figure it out. Sam Leavitt, if you're going to be held to the standards of the best player on Arizona State and one of the best players in college football, cannot have performances like this going forward. If it's just a one-off, your first road test, just like last season, your first road test of the season against Texas State was a tough start and you had to kind of fire back in the second half and come back, or your first true Power 4, Power 5 road test last year in Texas Tech ending with a loss and some sloppy play. Yeah, maybe that's the identity of this team. That shouldn't be the identity of this team, but maybe it is. Listen, you could sit here and you could talk about how Arizona State has all the abilities to fix what they need to fix, whether it's the poor play calling, which I absolutely believe has been apparent through NAU and Mississippi State, whether it's the poor play from the secondary, which has absolutely been apparent against NAU and Mississippi State, right? If you are going to break down the individual problems of this team, there is without a doubt that they could fix it. They absolutely can fix it. But if I told you just 3 weeks ago that Arizona State would be out of the top 25 after 2 weeks, we would be like, that's unacceptable. If I told you that Arizona State was 1-1 after the first 2 weeks, we would consider that unacceptable. If I told you Sam Leavitt had a game with just 82 yards and 2 interceptions on 22 attempts, we would tell you that's unacceptable. If I told you this defense was letting Blake Shapen and Ty Pennington carve them up like they're Joe Burrow, okay, maybe that's an exaggeration, but they still looked really good. That's a problem. It's a problem. This is a team right now that is not a top 4 team in the Big 12. Are they a top 5? Are they top 6? Are they top 7? Are they a top 8 team? It's kind of hard to tell because we don't know exactly how good Mississippi State's going to be, but I don't think they've earned that. You got U of A fans talking all sorts of mess about this team. You have U of A fans already victory lapping after week 2. Victory lapping on your entire team. This is exactly what the haters expected to happen. And this is exactly what we here at PHNX Sun Devils did not expect to happen. The only good news is that there is a lot of football left to be played, and this team has the talent and the coaching to overcome the obstacles that they have presented themselves, mind you, over the first 2 weeks. So is it time to panic? No, it's not time to panic. It's time to worry. It's time to be disappointed, but it's certainly not time to give up. That being said, I said this after week 1 that my vibe would be much different after week 2 if a lot of these same problems consisted. Guess what? Week 3, Texas State, this Saturday. Things need to change. You're back at home. What's the home crowd going to look like? Whether you like it or not, this is a fan base that shows up for winners and doesn't show up for losers. And they're very quick to change their mind. You need to right the wrongs against Texas State. This is not an SEC opponent. This is not being on the road in one of the loudest environments many journalists said they've ever covered in their time at ASU. Give credit to Starkville. Give credit to Mississippi State. They played great. Their team's better than last year. The environment was awesome. Arizona State still should have won that game. Arizona State still should have never been in the position to where a last-second touchdown puts them away. Should have never happened. The number 12 team in the country should never be in that position. And clearly they're not. The AP agrees with it. And I agree with it. They're not playing like a top 25 team in the country. They're not playing like a top team in the Big 12. They're not playing like the Arizona State that we expected them to. And Texas State will be great if they can go and they can fix all those things. But at the end of the day, it's when Big 12 play starts. Baylor, TCU, Utah, eventually to Iowa State. These are the games that are going to determine what Arizona State's season is. Are you the post-Cam Scadaboo frauds? Or did you just have a rough start to a season on the way to overcoming some more adversity, getting better as the season goes on, and eventually finding yourself in the Big 12 championship and possibly winning it again? It's weird. There's a lot of variance. A lot could happen with this team, but we are not where we expected to be after 2 weeks, and it is okay to admit that, and it is okay to be worried about it. Now, listen, I'm still through and through, ride or die with this team. I know a lot of you are too. Being worried doesn't mean giving up your fandom, doesn't mean not showing up to games, doesn't mean not supporting this program, because an SEC team, by the way, tore down their goalposts celebrating beating us. And while that stings, absolutely. Is that cope? Absolutely. That's not happening at all in this recent team's history. At all. There are steps that this program is taking in the right direction, but that doesn't mean that we can discount the steps backwards that they've taken at the start of this season. What do you think about where Arizona State is now that they're out of the top 25, 500 on the season after 2 weeks, going up against Texas State this weekend? PHNX Sun Devils has you covered every single weekday except for Thursday, because guess what? We'll be here on Saturday for a pre and a post-game show. We appreciate everybody who's continuing to support us and still support this team. We could be sitting here 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks from now, and the tune can be very different. Just capturing the emotions in the moment right now. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Don't give up on this team at all. Don't do it. They still haven't shown you exactly who they are yet. Give them time to fix that, even though we shouldn't be here in the first place. 5-star reviews on audio go a long way, and we are in for the long haul this season. Don't go anywhere.